Hi, friends of humanworks. It's Sarah Marshall coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where I just finished up day one of my Kolbe certification. I was really excited today to spend time with the Kolbe team and with Kathy Kolbe herself to learn more about my result, 7643, and to learn more about the Kolbe theory and what it means to have three parts of the mind: cognitive, affective, and conative. So I want to share two highlights with you that I learned from today. The first is how affective plays a role in your life alongside conative. So Kolbe never says what you can or can't do. It doesn't even say what you like or want to do. It describes your striving instincts. So that means what you do when you're free to be yourself, what you would naturally do. Now, what you like and what you're good at, all of that stuff can play a role in how your conative strengths play out. So the lesson here is really that Kolbe results aren't meant to box you in or define you in any way. And one example I want to share about how cognitive and affective support Kolbe results is that Kathy Kolbe's Kolbe A result is actually my Kolbe B result, and that is 2684. Now my Kolbe A is a 7643, so if you know what that means, that's great. If you don't, we can talk. But what I'm really trying to get at is just because Kathy's Kolbe A is the same as my Kolbe B, does that mean that Kathy would do a better job at my job? Now the Kolbe B is me taking an assessment saying how I should be in my role or what my role requires. So could Kathy do a better job at my job than I would? I sure hope not. And what I really think relates to that is I have the experience and the training. I also have the desire to be doing what I'm doing. So even though my B is a little different from my A, and even though Kathy has the same B or the same A as my B, it doesn't mean that she should take my job. The second thing I want to highlight is Kathy said something that really was intriguing to me. She said she wants to help people get into the mindset where they say they don't need to pay me to do what I do. Now that automatically made me think of in the employee engagement space when we talk about people accepting less money or less pay for a better company culture. So does a better company culture mean that there's a better understanding of each other's MOs or Kolbe A results? I think it could, and I think that's really exciting, especially as we look more into what makes employees happy and how we can keep employees satisfied in the workplace. So those are my two top highlights. I'm excited to come with more tomorrow, and hope that I've got some good stuff for you. I'm back. I survived day 2 of Kolbe certification training, and today was all about teams. It was about job fit or efficiency and team fit or productivity. I think we see a lot of articles and information today, and we hear a lot about organizations that have extras or perks, right? So there's snack bars with free snacks and drinks, or bring your dog to work policies. And while I wouldn't hate bringing my dog to work, hint, hint, if my team is watching, I'm wondering if maybe just implementing Kolbe would help us better understand each other and work with each other. Now, I'm not suggesting we get rid of benefits and perks by any means, but what if we added Kolbe to the mix? There was some research done on team effectiveness by Google, and it found that who matters less than how. So who on your team isn't quite as important as how people interact, how the team is structured, etc. It also found that successful teams operated with psychological safety, which sounds super intense. But when you think about it, when you understand your Kolbe, you understand how you work, how your coworkers work, and I think create more effective teams. So how do your natural instincts help make your team work? You bring strengths to the table. Use them. There was a Time article about why the office oddball is good for business. So for anybody who feels like maybe their instincts are a little bit different from the people who they work with,
maybe your quick start is a 9 or 10, and the rest of your team has quick start in more of that accommodating range or even that counteracting range. I think the big takeaway here, though, is you can do things outside of your cognitive strengths, but you should really lean into your cognitive strengths. And if you're experiencing stress or something seems off to you, check yourself. What do you think your job requires? What does your leader think your job requires? And connect with your team to see how they can fill in where you don't have the greatest strengths, and vice versa. I'm really excited to use Kolbe more with teams because I think that's really what makes it more exciting. Understanding my Kolbe A result is really important to me, but it makes it so much more meaningful when I can understand my Kolbe A result compared with somebody else's Kolbe A result, or when I can understand my Kolbe A and how it fits into the rest of the team. So I'm really looking forward to using team information within Kolbe, and I think we'll have a really great day 3. So stay tuned.
It's official, I'm Kolbe certified. So today I just want to recap the last day of my Kolbe certification experience. I'm going to talk about 2 F's, failure and family. The first one we didn't really talk too much about, but we just touched on failure being a necessary part of our professional and even personal experiences. When was the last time you were congratulated for a loss or an attempt at something that didn't quite go as planned? I think failure sometimes leads to better things. And even though people can interpret failure in different ways, what I see as a failure, you might not see as a failure for me. So I challenge you to think a little bit differently about failure and wonder about what you're going to fail at next. And when you do fail, don't take it as a negative, but think about how you can use your cognitive strengths to overcome that failure and kind of boost yourself into something better. The second F is family. And we talked about both kids and we talked about my dad because I had my dad take the Kolbe A index. So that was really exciting. From my kids' perspective, it's interesting to me that Kathy Kolbe can identify a child's cognitive strengths by the time that they're 2 years old. And sometimes earlier, which is incredible to me. How can we help schools? How can we help teachers if we can understand the cognitive strengths of children at such a young age? How can we help them as they grow into middle school, high school, college, and how can that help determine their success for the future? And then my dad's Kolbe. So this is the only time that Kolbe lets you guess somebody's Kolbe result, and I was pretty off. I think it was because I was focused on what I saw in my dad at home growing up, as opposed to maybe what other people saw at work. So as a financial analyst, it was very fitting to me that my dad is a 7.635, and I'm a 7.643. So it was funny to me that he's a little bit more similar to me than I thought. But now my next step is to get my mom to take the Kolbe, and I want to walk her through it and do an A to A report and really compare the two and see where their cognitive strengths lie and maybe where some of their differences are. So watch for more on our blog. We'll have more about Kolbe, and I'm excited to be officially certified. Thanks for watching.